All right, guys, Alex Slinsky here, and welcome to the next training module in Prospecting on Demand. Today, we will be discussing how to become a Sales Hall of Famer. This is the second training in preparing for leads, so let's get to it. So as I said, here's what we'll be covering today and for the rest of the boot camp. If you already have found your niche and specialized, you're in a good spot. You already know your offer, so now it's time to give you the confidence you need to be able to close your consultations. With that being said, my goal in this training is to give you the confidence and tools that you're going to need to succeed in closing your prospects on the initial consultation calls. We don't want you to have to send proposals and have a long sales process. We want to make this as quick and as easy as possible for you so you can close this lead and move on to the next one. I know sales are going to be a major struggling point for a lot of digital marketers and entrepreneurs in general in this boot camp. If you struggle with closing leads, this is the training for you, so make sure you have a pen and paper handy and you are following along. What I ask from you is to stick to the game plan. If this seems difficult or uncomfortable to you, good. It should feel that way, but it should also invigorate and excite you. I want you to stay the course, and I promise you, you will succeed. I also want you to pause the video here for just a few minutes to try and decipher why you have struggled closing in the past. That's why I wrote here, what has stopped you from closing before? This all comes down to optimizing once again. If you know what's hindering you, you will know exactly what you need to work on in order to improve your close rate in the future. Continue to do this and you will soon become a Sales Hall of Famer. And finally, make sure you listen to my sample close after this video training and follow along with the sales guide you'll find in the resource list under this video. The sample is there for you to learn the nuances of a consultation and help you close your prospects with confidence, just as I do. When you joined this bootcamp, I'm guessing many of you here were at least a little bit nervous about closing the leads. Sure, you wanted a system to generate leads on demand, but what if that system brings you prospects that you can't end up closing? You need to make sure that the prospects you're bringing on actually become clients. That is very important. It really ends up coming down to these questions, and I'm sure you might be asking them to yourself. 1, what if I don't have the experience or confidence in sales? And 2, what if I'm not able to close the leads I bring in? Now, some of you may have never even closed the lead before at all. First of all, I understand where you're coming from. The close is probably the most stressful part of the 5-step Hall of Fame prospecting system, and probably also the most critical. Without closing, you cannot grow your business, obviously. Now, speaking of, let's take a look at the system again here. As you know, we've gone through this a couple times, but this is a very important piece of information. This is the 5-step process to growing your agency the way you've always hoped of. This is the 5-step process to scale and own a business the way that you have always wanted to. We've already gone through step 1, and before we jump into step 2 beginning next week, we need to make sure you have the ability to close the leads you bring in for number 3. Now, I'm not one to put added pressure on you, but the reality is, in order to become a true prospecting Hall of Famer, you have to master sales. Now, the good news is that this training is going to help you do just that, so let's get to it. We're going to jump into the sales guide now, and again, you can follow along on this video training and then download the exact sales guide you see here below this video and ultimately use it for your consultations. So here we go. We are going to go through this entire sales guide right now. So the first step into becoming a Sales Hall of Famer is actually ensuring the meeting itself happens. One day before the call, I want you to make sure that this call will actually happen. Definitely make sure that you have an appointment setter. If you don't, use Calendly.com. It's a great free option. And make sure to put the call on your calendar and make sure that they put your call on the calendar. To ensure that that happens, 24 hours before the call, text or email the prospect to confirm the meeting time. Now we jump into pre-call prep. Now this is the next day. We're about to get on this call. Now we want to ensure privacy and remove all distractions. You want to have a pen and paper handy for notes. Speaking of notes, you want to gather notes and get the sales guide for the call. You want to use headphones or a headset so both your hands are free. You want to record the call for reference in case you miss something and for optimizing and evaluating your calls in the future. Don't skip that step. It's very important to record these calls so that you can improve upon your sales pitch as you move forward. Close your computer if possible, because we don't want any distractions. If you have to have it up, put it on Do Not Disturb and put your phone on Do Not Disturb as well. Then we have power stances in Zen. If you don't really know what power stances are, take a quick Google search to learn about them. Very interesting stuff. Ultimately, the reason for this is just to get you into the confidence that you need to succeed in this upcoming call. To that, we want you to focus on the upcoming call solely. Now, a short-term memory really is necessary, and I don't want you to focus on the previous or upcoming calls, good or bad. Just focus on crushing this exact call. At the exact scheduled time for the meeting, call the prospect. The best way to do this is just have the number ready to load in and call at the exact time. Now we're on to step 3, introduction and constructive small talk. Guys, do not dive immediately into a pitch. Be yourself and begin building rapport. You cannot start a pitch right away. You need to learn about this customer first. Use standard small talk questions that show interest but ultimately won't result in a lengthy response. This is not the time to become buddy-buddy. This is the time just to start some small talk. Examples are, hi Brendan, how's your day or morning or week going? Or Craig, how are you today? Is it a busy day for you? Show them that you value their and your time and you're happy to have them on the call, because now it's time to frame the conversation. Number 4, framing the conversation and positioning. Here's a sample of how you frame the conversation. All right, Chris, so in today's either 30 or 60-minute call, I'd like to discuss your business and see if your company would be a good fit to work with us. The reason that we use the wording a good fit to work with us is because it's a positioning technique to show you don't take on just any and every client. And that really should be true. You should not be looking to take on every single client. You should be looking to take on the clients that are going to make you the most amount of money with positive margins, and the ones that you're confident that you can deliver results month in, month out, so your retention rates remain high and you could scale. So with that being said, the next part of it is you want to tell them how long the call is going to be to ensure the conversation stays on track and there's an understanding of the time expectation. If you don't do this, you may find yourself in an hour-long consultation that just seems to go on forever. You want to stick to a schedule here. I'm going to start this call off by asking you some questions about your business. And if I believe that my team can help you, I'll explain exactly what we can do for you. Does that sound fair? Now, before you continue, you need to wait for the client's agreement. That's when you start probing. Number 5 is probing questions about the lead in business. At this point in the call, we want to find out exactly why the prospect has agreed to the consultation in the first place. What are the set of specific questions that you need to answer, or have answered rather, to determine whether or not this lead is a good fit to work with you? The set of questions may differ for some of you, but try to stick along with this guideline as best as you can to ensure your most important questions are answered. The first question needs to be, tell me a little bit about your business, how you started, where you are now, and where you hope to be in the future. This question can open up a can of worms, but in order to really service most clients, you need to really understand where they came from, where they are now, and where they hope to be. This is going to be your measuring stick for everything that you do with them. The second question is basically, now can you tell me what pushed you to set this consultation with me today? Some people, again, may have long-winded answers that are going to cover all of your remaining questions, but for answers that are short and to the point, here's a few probing questions to use as follow-ups. Can you please explain a bit further about ... Or I'm interested in about something specific. Can you tell me more about that? 3. Dan, can you tell me about an average transaction and sales process for your company? Again, some people may tell you everything you need to know from this one question, while others will need further probing. And here's some follow-ups. What exactly are you selling? If they have more than one product or service, follow up with, which product or service have you had the most success with in terms of sales? Another follow-up. Who is your ideal customer and why do they purchase from you specifically? Again, this is an absolutely amazing opportunity to update and confirm your customer avatar. Listen here very intently. He's going to be telling you about what makes him special and why are they purchasing from him. Now, the next question is, how do they end up purchasing from you? Is this an online store? Is this a brick and mortar store? Is it something else altogether? And then you want to know the lifetime value of your clients and how much an average transaction is worth. Then the fourth question, and very, very important part of the entire consultation, is asking how much money is this business making per month right now. You want to get that figure because it really is critical to the success in closing your lead, The reason being is because questions 3 and 4 and all of those follow-ups are going to allow you to determine based on their price whether or not the prospect can afford your high-ticket services. If these people are talking about being a startup, or they have no money to get started, or you're just seeing red flags pop up all over the place, you don't need to continue the consultation. You can ultimately say that, hey, look, I don't think we're going to be a good fit together. I appreciate the time today, but I think we're going to end the call here, basically, as nice as possible. Now, if they can't afford you, now it's time to dig a little deeper. Number 6, understand their basic needs and situation. Now that you understand your prospect's sales process and know they can afford you, you're one step closer to their pain point. Prior to getting there, we want to fully understand their current situation and basic needs, all while unfolding their issue with them. So I want you to start with, how are you currently generating new leads or clients or customers? This is important because this is about the growth of their business. Now, to that point, you want to continue. Is your business growing at the current rate or experiencing a downward trajectory? This is good, whatever they say. If their business is growing, great. They can definitely afford you and they want to grow bigger. If their business is floundering, can your agency turn it around? If so, you will have a powerful testimonial on your hands. Now, the next question is going to be, regardless of your growth, do you know your average CPA, your cost per acquisition, or your cost per client? This question stumps a lot of people that I speak with, and maybe in your industry it's more common to know the CPA, the CPA, but some people end up really not having any idea what that even means. So with that being said, if they know it, that's great. You have a measuring stick and a KPI to hit for your ads. If no, that's also great, because now you can explain to them why it's so important to have these figures for growth in their business, which is going to make your close a lot easier. The next question that you want to continue with is, with your business's current state and trajectory, are you comfortable relying on your current models to grow your business? At this point, most people are going to say no, because they got on the consultation with you in hopes of bettering someone or something about their business. Now, if they do say yes and they're happy with the current state, it's going to be a harder close overall. I won't lie to you in that idea, but don't close it. Don't quit right there. Keep going and see if you can get them to find an emotional reasoning for why they got on this call in the first place, and we're going to get there in just a couple minutes. So now that you've come to the point we've been waiting for, the stage is finally set to reveal the pain. Now notice, there is a really strong chance the client has already specifically stated their pain in the last few minutes. That's 100% fine. Stick with this guide and you will close them. Number 7 is finding their pain point and goal setting. In the last 5 to 10 minutes, the prospect has laid out with you their exact business structure, their hopes for growth, their current operations for lead generation, and finally mentioned that they aren't satisfied with the way things are going right now. Now is the time to reveal the pain. So first of all, you thank the prospect for sharing. Don, thank you for sharing all of this information with me. It's really going to help me and my team create a surefire strategy to deliver you return on the investment and the numbers and results you are looking for. Then you continue. With that being said, I believe your major issue is, and lay out the issue. Then you say, would you agree with that? State the pain based off the entire conversation up until this exact moment. If you misfire, I don't want you to stress out, because the prospect is going to then tell you exactly what the actual pain is, and you can build your close from there. So again, here's where we probe for more information. Why do you believe you are having this issue, and for how long have you been dealing with this? What have been your methods to fix this issue? Do you understand or know why they haven't worked? Now, if the lead has tried and failed the service you are offering, for example, he tried Google Ads and it didn't work, and you guys are experts in Google Ads, it's a really great opportunity to find out what they did wrong in order to point out how you could fix it later on. Your confidence should be growing at this point, because now the conversation is lending itself towards you being the person to help their pain. Now is the time to assure the client, don't worry, Steve, we're going to help you out. Now you want to confirm and set goals. You asked the prospect earlier to tell you where they hope their business would be in the future. Now is the time to show them how the future is closer than it appears, and it all starts by fixing their pain. So, Jake, you mentioned earlier that you wanted to grow your business to $20,000 a month in the next year. Is that correct? If no growth figure was given earlier, ask, what is your monetary goal for this business, either monthly or annually? This is yet another opportunity to confirm that they can afford your services. So now is the time to show them they need you. Now, Here's the emotional setting, and this is so important to closing your consultations. Now, even before telling the client why you or your agency are the right team to fix their pain and help them achieve their goals, you need to set their emotions for why they need to achieve their goals. Not just a business reason, but a personal reason. There's some sort of powerful emotional reason for why they want to achieve this goal, and you have to find it. So here's a quick example. Phil, can you tell me what your motivation is to get X amount of dollars monthly or annually? Or how would your business be different if it made X amount of dollars? What about your personal life? How would making X amount of dollars impact you and your family? The ideal situation after these probing questions is the prospect's going to have high goals with motivations outside of solely making a lot of money. Now, I will tell you, you will end up speaking with leads that will probably just say, look, I just want to make a lot of money. Those are going to be harder to close, not impossible, but you really are hoping for this next portion. Now, if the prospect is trying to make a $50,000 a month to buy a house for his mom or $120,000 a year in order to take a 6-month trip with his kids and wife, there's an emotional attachment to their goal. Now, if you know their pain, you know how to solve it, and you know the emotions and reasons associated with those goals, you're going to close every single time. I guarantee it. Number 9, here's where you're going to lay it all out and start gaining commitment. All right, Brad, so your business is currently making you X per month, and you want to get to X per month in order to blank and blank. Is that right? Here I want you to list 2 reasons, preferably one business and one personal reason. So you could, for example, say, all right, Brad, so your business is currently making you $20,000 per month, and you want to make $50,000 per month in order to hire more contractors and take your wife on the lifelong trip she's always wanted to go to Bali. Is that right? Now, after confirmation, once they say, yes, absolutely, ask, what's stopping you from doing this all on your own? At this point, they're going to restate their issue, why they can't personally solve it themselves, and they're going to become mentally fatigued. This is when they will hopefully say, look, man, I just need someone to do it for me, or I simply can't get it done myself due to any number of reasons, or I just need a proven system to be implemented for me and I'll get there. Keep probing. I don't want you to give in yet. Well, Katie, I know you want this fixed, but are you truly committed to making it happen now? This is another chance for the prospect to offer you their emotional reason for needing this change and confirmation that they are ready to do what it takes to achieve their goals. Once they have committed to making this change, now is your time to go on the offensive. Number 9, being Mr. Right. So here's the good news, Charlie. My team can definitely help you with your issue and help you achieve both your personal and business goals. Look, guys, you spent the last 20 to 25 minutes building trust, listening to your prospect, and finding out all of the crucial details of why they need your services. Now you've given them the ultimate relief by simply saying you can help. Drive the point home. Explain your expertise in the area. Well, Devora, my team specializes in helping a certain industry with a certain service specialization by where the service takes place. So here's the full example or full sample. Well, Devora, my team specializes in helping dentists with lead generation by running profitable, data-driven ads on both Facebook and Google. Your sentence can be short as the sample above, or as long as it takes for you to specifically detail to the client exactly how you and your team are the solution to their pain. You want the prospect to really believe that they have stumbled upon the perfect person or team to help them achieve their goals and get them out of their current situation. If you have a great case study or a success story that that relates with them, now's the time to do it. When you finish and have done correctly, the prospect should ask you what it would take to work together and what you have to offer them. You have now have them hooked. Let's close the deal, guys. Number 10 is stating your offer. Stating your offer is often a trap for inexperienced closers, so be careful here. This is not the time to explain the minutiae and details of your service or the exact process to achieve your goals. Look, most of the people that you speak with do not care about how you're going to get it done. They just want to see it get done. It's about the outcome. Remember that. Instead, focus on what service you will be providing without diving deep into it, and explain what the outcome or goals your service will help achieve. That's the entire point right there. Your description of service should be short and to the point. Now is not the time to discuss price. If you discuss price here, you could lose everything. Sample. Jimmy, my team and I can generate you 20 to 40 leads per month using Google AdWords and Facebook ads. With our methods, we are confident we can help you achieve your $10,000 a month business goal. the prospect will now begin asking questions about how the service works and how you can be certain of your stats and more related questions of that nature. Now try to answer their questions as best as possible, but again, don't divert into the detail or minutia. If they're asking you about specific details of the service, just focus on the outcome. That is the goal. Eventually, the final question will come down to your price. Here is where you introduce your price, your special offer, and you close the deal. So here's where the final aspects of the close come in. Guys, do not state your price until the prospect has asked for it. This is crucial to your success. You want them to be the one asking you. You do not want to bring it up before they ask. Now, in order to enhance your chances for closing, you want to use a special or incentive-based offer to help secure the close. Now, this special or incentive-based offer can be fabricated or made up for that scenario. It doesn't really matter, or it can be real. The idea is just to get them to feel like they're special and give them an incentive to close with you on the phone. So here's a quick example of pretty much an entire close. Usually our services cost $2,000 a month with a $1,000 setup fee to get started. Although, considering our conversation today, I can tell you're ready to take action right now to better your business. Truth is, we work best with people who take action, and the results speak for themselves. If you're ready to take action and move forward with us today, we'll waive the setup fee completely and get started. Keep in mind, this is just a sample. You can waive a setup fee or offer a reduced price or a percentage discount. Try out a few options and see what's going to work best for you. You do not have to follow this word for word. Now, after introducing the price, I don't want you to ramble. I don't want you to second guess yourself. I don't want you to continue talking about your service. Just be quietly confident and wait for the prospect's response. I literally do not care if the prospect takes 5 minutes to respond. There might be the longest, most awkward pause ever. Do not say anything until they speak. That's it. Just listen to this. It's very important. Now, the goal obviously here is to hear, "I'm in, what's next?" or "let's do this," or anything similar of the like. Now, if they say they're in, do not hesitate to move forward, guys. I can't tell you how many people have said they're in with me, and then I ended up, getting them off the phone, sending them a proposal, or sending them an invoice, or whatever it may be, and I lost the client. Don't send them a proposal. Don't send them an invoice. Get their credit card information over the phone right then and there, and get them locked in with you. Here's a quick example. "Excellent, Brianna. Let's lock you in right now. We can take your credit card over the phone and send you a receipt right away." Some prospects will be apprehensive about giving their credit card over the phone, which is totally understandable. So offer them an alternative that allows them to input their payment info on their end while you stay on the phone with them through the close. You can use PayPal or Stripe. There's a bunch of different methods that you can use to make sure that they're closing with you on the phone. Now, congrats, guys. If at this point you have successfully closed your lead, congratulations. This is the most exciting part of being an entrepreneur. Actually closing someone is such an invigorating feeling. So congratulations, you are officially a Sales Hall of Famer. But let's be realistic. Most of them are not easy as pie. Most of them are going to have objections or questions or issues or problems. So number 12 is overcoming objections and sealing the deal. We want to make sure that we're going to cover all of the possible objections here to make sure that you know what to do when brought into a certain scenario. So if you unfortunately didn't hear those magical words of "I'm in" or something similar, you will need to do a little bit more work to close your prospect, and that's okay. We're going to help you do that. Simply do not accept anything else at this point other than a yes or no. We don't want anything in between. We don't want a maybe or a kinda. It has to be yes or no. Yes or no. Remember that. Don't allow the prospect to escape so easily with these recycled lines. I've heard these thousands of times. "I need to ask my business partner." Remember, you've already confirmed that they are the decision maker already. How about, "Can you send me a proposal?" Why do they need a proposal if you fleshed out every single thing over the phone and clearly painted the picture to them that you're the right fit? Ask them what you can clarify, because your pitch is always going to be better than a proposal. The last line, and probably the most common, is, I need to think about this. I need the time." Look, questions like this ultimately mean the prospect has one or two objections that you need to overcome. Probe away and find out. The first objection, and probably the most common objection, is money. The prospect will say, "I just can't afford your services," or "I don't have the money right now to do it." And this is how you should answer, pretty much word for word. You. Finance is a common challenge for our clients, and we always try to find a workaround to make it right for the people we want to work with. Let me ask you, is this something you really need and want to do right now? If so, how can we make it happen? Now, the prospect's probably going to say, I absolutely want to do it. I just can't afford it right now. Look, money is tight, unfortunately, because the business is not going so great. When I generate some more revenue, I'll definitely be interested in moving forward. Now, at this point, a lot of people fail because they'll say, okay, great, I'll talk to you in a couple months. That most of the time never happens, and the client or the prospect, doesn't get the service they desperately need. Now, your response to that has to be, look, I understand that. That's the exact reason why we got on the phone today, right? To fix your financial situation. Now, how do you plan on fixing the financial situation as it stands right now? At this point, the prospect probably won't have a very strong answer because he thought you were going to be the answer to their problems. So, you need to close the deal. Look, so the reality is that you believe you can't afford it right now, but you're interested in the service in the future in order to change your financial situation as it currently stands. But as it stands, your business isn't making enough money or growing at a rate that would allow you to afford the services at a later time. So basically, you're going to do the exact same thing you're currently doing in hopes of saving enough down the line to afford the service. Did I get that right? Now look, when laid out this way, the prospect will realize they're in a pickle. Their rationale really doesn't add up. And he's basically going to have to say, well, when you put it that way, and that's when you close it out. So let's figure out how we can make this work for you. How about a payment plan? If the payment plan offer doesn't work, you can offer a money-back guarantee, and I strongly recommend against it really on almost every circumstance. Now, even if you're 100% confident you're going to get the results, there's so many variables involved in digital marketing. I just personally don't recommend it. If you need it in order to make the revenue right now for your business and you could put it in escrow for 30 days or so, then go for it. Now, if the prospect still won't budge, even after the payment plan, even after the money-back guarantee, try laying out how your service will deliver him a return on the investment and how the math ultimately makes sense for them. That's kind of the last-ditch effort. And at this point, you should be able to overcome the money objection. If any of those offers or opportunities don't work, it's going to be very difficult for you to end up closing him. The second objection is time. Asking someone to make a payment right then and there on the call can trigger emotions in people that make them very uncomfortable. It's hard for some people to take actions and be a decision maker when they're in the hot seat. Here's how you're going to make it easier for them. And look, it's not so hard to make it easier for them. You just have to have confidence when going through these objections. Don't let their weariness or hesitation stop you from pushing forward. Be confident and close these people. The prospect's going to say, I'm not sure I can move forward right now. I just need more time to decide, honestly. You're going to answer, of course, I completely understand that this is a big decision that needs to be thought over. Truth is, if you have any questions or concern, now is the time to flesh it out with me while we're on this call. That's why we got on here today. I want you to be confident in your decision and take action. So how can we get you there? Now have a back and forth here to make sure all of the prospects' questions are answered to their satisfaction. Again, they're probably harboring some questions here that need to be answered for you to close. Unfortunately, some people simply will not close on the phone, so if you believe that's the case, get them to agree to make a decision by a specific time within the next 24 hours, incentivizing them to do so by promising to keep them at that special price you offered them earlier. Now we're on to objection number 3, the second opinion. This is probably my most hated objection because it really doesn't make much sense. This objection can be avoided even before the consult, and I want you to make sure that you do this. When your meeting is set, ensure that all of the decision makers will be present. If you're speaking with someone that has 2 business partners, speak with all 3 of them. If you're speaking with a spouse and they have their husband or wife that needs to be on the call to make a decision, get them both on the call at the same time. You do not want to be speaking to someone for 30 or 40 minutes and then them tell you at the end, well, I need the second opinion. That is a huge waste of time. So even if you made sure the decision makers were on the call, you may hear, I need to speak with my partner, I need to speak with my husband or wife, or I need a second opinion. Even if you did everything you could, that still may happen. So here's what you do. Not a problem at all. For clarification, you are ready to move forward, but you just need the okay from your partner or spouse. Is that correct? You're now going to have 2 options. Your first option is to be aggressive and tell the prospect to call their partner or spouse while on the phone with them to close the deal. I've done this a couple times. It's not really my forte as I'm not that aggressive, but it has worked when I did try it. Or 2, confirm a time with them in the next 24 hours to have the final decision, again incentivizing them to do so by promising to keep them at the special price you offered them earlier. That's pretty much the only way to get over this third objection. The fourth objection is the guarantee. If you do offer a guarantee, this objection obviously won't happen. Now, if you don't offer a guarantee, which I'm guessing most of you won't be, explain how the only thing you can guarantee is that if you continue along the same path you're currently on, your results won't change and you can't risk that. Be confident in your service. Assure them it's going to work and tell them that if they are looking for guarantees, they don't have the right mindset and are likely not the best fit to work with you in your business. Having this stance is going to freak them out a little bit. They're going to think that you're trying to do everything you can to close them, but when you tell them so deep into the conversation that you may not be the best fit, after the last 20, 30 minutes of you saying, we really are the solution for you, they might, overcome that guarantee concern and sign with you. The fifth objection is get them off the fence. Now there's probably 100 other objections that we can go through, but I wanted to try to get this all into one in this fifth objection, which is just getting them off the fence. You don't want them to be in the middle. You want a clear yes or no. Now at this point, you've laid out exactly what you can do for the prospect, overcame all of their objections, explained why they need you now, and yet still, the prospect seems weary. Let's close them out with a bang. At the end of the day, this decision isn't really about working with me and my team. This decision is about whether or not you are ready to make the changes in your business and life you need in order to achieve your goals and dreams. I'm not trying to be too sappy here, but the reality is that you've said you're committed to growing your business and having the freedom you want in your personal life, while also recognizing the current methods aren't working or getting you to the promised land. The decision that you are really faced with is whether or not you are ready to make the changes you need to achieve your goals. Guys, this is such a powerful statement. The reason why is because essentially this last-ditch effort to close the prospect is switching their focus again from your service and teams to their own life goals. Remember, this is about the outcome, not about exactly what you do. This is about the outcome that's going to be achieved for them. When you focus the transition of them focusing on your service to what the outcome is when you work with them, it's going to change everything for them. That is really critical. Again, this is about the outcome that they're looking to achieve, not about how they're getting there, which is through your service. Look, guys, at this point, you should have closed this client. If not, you have literally done everything you can to close your prospect. So at least feel confident, in the very least, if you didn't close them, that you know exactly what it takes to do so, and you'll close the next one. All I could say about this training is please, please, please take this seriously. Go through this entire sales document before you actually get on a call to make sure it fits your niche properly. I've given you guys the ability to copy this exact document in the resource list below this video training so that you can edit the document and make it fit you better. Now, keep in mind that I want you to try to stick with the status quo, essentially the timeline that I've created, but the actual terminologies and some of the questions itself, they can be changed a little bit. Just focus on the philosophy of this whole sales guide, and you're going to become a Sales Hall of Famer. So we have now gone through the entire sales guide, and let's recap exactly what I want you to do on this call. Again, go in with confidence. You need to be confident in order to close your deals. You can do this. Tell yourself you can do this. You got it. Number 2, I want you to find out if the lead is going to be a good fit and if you're speaking with the decision maker. Remember, you do not want to have to go through the objection of the second opinion. So make sure you're speaking with the decision maker and ultimately find out within the first 5 to 10 minutes if they're a good fit. Now, if you're doing prospecting properly, which you will be doing through this program, you shouldn't really have to worry about if the lead is a good fit because of your customer avatar, because of the targeting that you're going to be doing. But, of course, there's exceptions, to the rule. And sometimes you're going to find out that some people aren't a good fit, even if you thought they would be. 3, follow the script and find their pain. Remember, I've said this at least 3 times in this program already. Finding their pain is critical to the success of closing. If you can articulate a client's pain or a prospect's pain, they're going to believe that you have the solution to that pain and they're going to be happy to close with you. 4, what do they want and why do they want it? 5, Wrap them in emotion and let them know the outcome. Do not focus on your service. Focus on the outcome and focus on their personal reasons for that outcome. Again, there is going to be a powerful emotional reason for why they want to achieve some sort of goal that you are looking to help them achieve. 6, state their pain and tell them you could solve it. 7, lay out the price and offer an incentive. And 8, overcome objections and close, guys. This is your 8-step recap to closing. Follow that guideline, follow that sales guideline, and I guarantee you, you will be closing your leads at a higher rate than you have ever done before, guys. So now that you have the tools and confidence you need to crush your consultations, I'm happy to say that you are ready to take on new prospects, and that's what we're going to be getting to just next week. I'm really excited about it. So let's do a quick recap for the action steps from this module. 1, note why you may have failed in closing before. 2, listen to the sample close after watching this training so that you're comfortable and confident knowing that this sales guide works. 3, download and follow along with the sales guide. While you're listening to that sample close, follow along with the sales guide, see exactly how I'm going along the process, and ultimately the little things I change and the little things I leave out so that you can see that this is not, you have to go through it 100%. You need to make this work for you. And then 4, I want you to post into the Facebook group why you failed before in closing so we can hear your issues and help you through it. And 2, what you're going to change to succeed moving forward. Guys, that just about wraps it up. Really great training here. I hope you guys learned a lot. I'm really excited to hear about your success stories coming up. Now, coming up next, we will finally be diving into the prospecting methods, what you guys have all been waiting for. No more cold calls, no more going door to door, no more bad, terrible, horrendous, freelancer trap-esque prospecting methods. We're going to teach you the best prospecting methods there are available to you right now, starting off with LinkedIn Mastery, and we're going to crush it, guys. I will see you then. Good luck with your consultations and start crushing it.